Right. Good morning, everyone. I want to call the Legislative Subcommittee meeting to order. It's Thursday, March 9th, 10:02 a.m. First, we'll start with roll. Chair Wallen here, Vice Chair Reynolds,
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
For staff, Executive Director Armstrong.
Here.
Commission Counsel Bassett.
Here.
Outreach and Education Officer Harvey.
Here.
Executive Assistant Saldana.
Here.
Right, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of
of
America
America and to the
and
republic
for
which it stands,
One
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
for all. Executive Director Armstrong, are there any members of the public present, and have you received any emails to be read into the record?
We have received no written comment to be written into the record, and I do not see any members of the public on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Right, this time, approval of the minutes of the February 26, 2026 Legislative Subcommittee meeting. Commissioners, have you read the minutes? Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I have no corrections. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item. Review and discussion of draft legislative language proposals and possible approval of legislative concepts to forward to the full commission for consideration. Executive Director Armstrong, please give us your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. In the packet, you'll see statutory language options. At the last meeting, you approved the mandatory training with a 60-day note, and then the former agency 1-year lobbying prohibition. So what is needed for approval today would be the remaining, which is unwarranted harm, appearance of impropriety, and the confidentiality expansion. Those, there wasn't really discussion at the last one. I just think we didn't check those off the list for approval. And then the one that's probably going to be the bulk of your discussion today is gifts. So if you turn to page 4 of those materials, you'll see, I don't know what it is on the PDF, but at page 4 of that particular exhibit, the gifts was a hybrid from the last meeting where we had a definition of gift, we had an exclusion of what is a definition of a gift, and then some factors for the commission to consider when considering a potential violation or an advisory opinion request for 400 subsection 1, our gift prohibition. And then based on some conversations since then, there's an option B, which is basically the same, but it moves the event, those that were related to events, out of that definitional part and places it back into the consideration of 400 subsection 1. And then there, a commissioner thought maybe don't define gift, but just define what a gift is not. So that is option C for you. Again, with these things are not a gift. And then there's the factors to consider for a 401 violation. There's also on page 9, there is some what I would call like savings language that is similar to what we have in our willfulness, non-willfulness determination that basically says these are the factors in statute, but it's not an exhaustive list. You can consider other factors if you wish to as a commission. And then in discussions with another commissioner, there's already a gift in 281, which is sort of our sister chapter. We all used to be in 281, and then they split us out into 281A. So that definition of gift is there, which is a little simpler than the original one, the one we discussed at the last meeting. And then there's one that is an alternative that someone submitted as a definition of gift also at the bottom of page 9. So those are the materials. I'm happy to toss it over to you, Vice Chair Wallen, and have a discussion and answer any questions.
Okay. I tell you what, let's talk about the unwarranted harm and the impropriety, those. Do you guys have any questions or comments about those?
Actually, this is Terry Reynolds. I was satisfied with everything that was drafted on those. I think Ross actually did a very good job, or Ross and Liz did a very good job on those. So I'm good with those revised sections.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Miller?
Agree. I'm
Yeah.
good with those sections.
Yeah, I'm good with those. So I guess we'll get down to gifts, all right? Um, I'm I talked to Ross or Executive Director Armstrong the other day because I said, why did you move the event thing into the other category? And he had a pretty good explanation for that. So I'm good with that. Um, I guess it gets down to the do we have a definition of a gift or do we just say what gifts aren't? I guess would be
Well, let me tell you what my concern was, and then
yes,
because
please.
I had talked to Ross about this too, and I mentioned that in our last meeting.
Hmm.
My concern is that I was in favor of option C, and basically because I think I saw what we were looking at in terms of defining gift again was redundant, and I was concerned of having it in another part of a statute and then coming up with our own in that would create some confusion. So I liked the going to option C, which says what a gift is not, because I think gift is already defined in 281. And I guess Ross, you could put it in there as you could say gift as defined in, if you wanted to do it that way. So that was my concern, and I can live with either one, but I just think
Okay.
we could have some conflict or confusion between the two because of that, the two areas that it
Okay.
would be
Yeah.
defined in.
And Commissioner Miller.
I'm just trying to figure out what we gain by doing option C. Is there really more clarity?
Well, I think there is, John. First of all, I think you could submit the options or go into with to LCB, and they're going to tell you, what they think is the best approach anyway. So, I think if they think it's redundant, they're going to make the change, regardless of what we submit, because that's just what they do. So I just think option C is cleaner. I don't think you're going to get into a concern of where you have it to be defined in two different sections of the law, and that could create some conflict and some issue. But I think regardless of what you do now, LCB is going to, if correct me if I'm wrong, Ross, but they're going to point those things out and make those corrections. So.
What if we were to put, you mentioned we refer to the statute of what gift means, but why couldn't we just put that language into that same language in as what is a gift? Because, if you're a person and you're reading it, it says, okay, defined as this, and you have to jump to here. And if we're going to have a statute or language about what is a gift, I think having everything included, having that definition that's in statute in 281.5585 would make sense to put it here.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, Kim. If that's, I think that would clarify it. I'd be fine with that.
So
I
Commissioner
just didn't
Miller,
want it in two different sections.
yeah, I get it. And having different language, I get it.
Right.
I can see that. Commissioner Miller, so then our definition of gift then would be, as defined in the statute, would be, oops, sorry, let me turn off my work phone. Gift means any payment, conveyance, transfer, distribution, deposit, advance, loan, forbearance, subscription, pledge, or rendering of money, services, or anything else of value unless consideration of equal or greater value is received. I mean, it's a wonky
And no
definition.
reference the other thing in there.
And then
right?
and then we put everything else in there. Then it would, after
Correct.
that.
And then it would say, for the purpose of this chapter, gift does not mean
Yes.
Correct.
2 through
Uh-huh.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that. I think that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I can understand where Commissioner Reynolds is coming from.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even thought of that we'd have two different definitions. Personally, I think our definition is better than their definition. I would like, maybe they can consider changing it and, when they start.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but
But that's what we have, and that's what we have to
That's right.
work with. But I can go along with that. Executive Director Armstrong, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that the legislature's already approved the definition of gift that's in 281. They have different exceptions more related to campaign finance and that type of thing.
Right.
So I think it's good that we have our exceptions
yes,
in there. And then we're also, if you go with option C with the definition that matches that 281 5585, then you also maintain those factors in the 401 violations. And so I think that gives not only you as commissioners a good framework to analyze gift cases, but public attorneys out there trying to advise people, the agency director or chief who has an opportunity for a gift and needs to figure out if they can take it or not. I think it's a much more robust, clear guidance, which I know is one of your goals for folks as they look at the statute and try to figure out what the heck it means to them.
Yeah. I think we've made a lot of progress in this chapter. Commissioner
no, I
Miller?
agree. I think this will be excellent to present with those I think they're minor modifications, but modifications that really clarify some of the points we've discussed.
Yeah. Commissioner Miller?
I also support it.
Okay.
I think it's an improvement.
I mean, it's a work in progress, so
Correct.
as we work with it, we may find other changes, but I think what we've come up with, the areas that we're covering, changes in our statutes.
So
I
are we,
don't see
sorry
any
to interrupt,
increase.
but are we also going to then put in the additional factors language as well?
Yes, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And just for clarity, that would go not in the definition, but it would go under 400 subsection 1 in our statute.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Right. Well, then there's no other discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll let Commissioner Reynolds do it since he's the one who suggested it.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amended draft language regarding option C and with an inclusion of gift as in, and I've got it, the section, Ross, that
281.5585 for you.
correct. With that section in there, and leaving in the exceptions, our exceptions to what is considered a gift, and the language that was drafted that we don't want changed, basically. So including the statutory language that was already in there.
Yeah, the 281A.401.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And also the additional factors.
And I will second that motion with the additional factors, yes.
I think we also need to include for approval the unwarranted harm and appearance of impropriety
Yes.
language, correct?
And the confidentiality one.
And the
confidentiality.
Well, I was going to do that in a separate motion, but
sorry.
You can just do it all
I
at
jumped
once.
the gun.
You want to just do it all at once?
Do it all.
that would be fine.
Yeah.
Because we were basically the draft for unwarranted harm, the changes in that, the appearance of impropriety, and also confidentiality expansion, that those drafts as drafted and submitted to us in this meeting be incorporated into the statutory request, legislative request.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
Okay. It's one big motion. All right.
Yes.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Well, thank you guys very much. We did a lot of work, and I'm glad that we took the time to think about this, and everyone's good with it. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I'll see you all in Vegas next week.
I will not be joining. I'll be joining you via Zoom. I have a doctor appointment on the 17th, so
Oh,
I wanted to. I didn't have to.
well, you could fly down in the morning.
Yeah, makes it a little tough to get there, but if we start early, and I didn't want to obviate that if you're going to start a little bit earlier. I know Chair Shear wanted to have
Yeah.
an earlier start.
Okay. Alrighty.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Bye.
think
Do you need
Sorry,
a
Oh,
motion
do
to
we-
oh,
adjourn?
sorry,
we-
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we've
Commissioner
finished
comments. Sorry. Commissioner comments. All right.
My comment
I-
would only be it was enjoyable to participate in this. It is an important aspect of continuing to make our jobs easier by defining laws for Nevadans to understand what they
Mhm.
can and can accept in their roles. So
Thank you.
those are good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John, for that comment. I agree with you.
Public comment. Executive Director Armstrong, have you received any public comment via email?
we
And are
have
there
not.
any members of the public on Zoom that wish to comment?
We've not received any public comment during the meeting, and there are no members of the public on Zoom.
All right. Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a
So
motion
moved.
to adjourn.
All right. Okay. Second. Who's second? Commissioner Reynolds. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next week.
Okay. Bye.